All right, today we're gabbing with Dr. Mimi Sanders, the latest addition to Married to Medicine for season 11 on Bravo. Dr. Mimi joined the show around the middle of the season, and she's already making her mark despite all of the drama that's happening around her. I mean, it's a lot to join, it's a lot to jump into. So I'm very impressed. Dr. Mimi, thanks so much for being here. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
How has this experience been like for you so far? What's it been like?
A roller coaster. Um, it's like a roller coaster that kind of just, it starts very smooth. I'm thinking like maybe like at like the Disney World, we have like the seven dwarf thing. So it's like this is gonna be nice, but then it kind of just speeds up a little bit. You're like, okay,
Sure.
whoa, whoa, whoa. No, it's been ups and downs. It was a lot for me at first to kind of just unpack because I'm just like, okay, like I have only been here for this amount of time, and there is years of just stuff that people have gone through. This person that wasn't liking this person, but now they're cool, and now this person has beef with. So it was just a lot, and so just trying to play catch up was, a job, but then also seeing, hey, like I may have to play a role in some of this reconciling these relationships, um, and helping people communicate better.
Yeah, absolutely. And you alluded to this, but a lot of this cast has been together since seasons one and two, basically. And
Right.
it's
Hmm.
and that makes it I think that makes it impressive, but also harder for somebody new to really break in and find their footing and
Hmm.
really kind of, get their roots going in this group as well. Contessa obviously was somebody who was able to do that. Contessa, brought you into this group. Did she give you any guidance or tips in terms of making that happen for yourself?
She did. She did. Contessa is she's such a girl's girl. Like, and I say that because like she's very supportive of like women. And so like she comes off very, very genuine. And I also like I consider she's has this like she's yes a vet, but also a newbie. And so now she can give like all types of perspective. And so just being with her and just also just watching her, seeing how she's moving, seeing how she's navigating relationships. I'm a psychiatrist. So I'm always looking and observing. But no, she was very welcoming. She was very just supportive. And so she was one of my go-tos to kind of say, okay, this is how I'm feeling. This is what's going on with me. Like, how do I navigate this? Like, this is different for me to be like on whether it's TV or even in trying to cultivate this relationship with this person, even though this person may not get along with the person that brought me in. So it's just a lot.
Yeah, yeah, it is a lot.
Hmm.
So, I alluded to this, but you joined at a time when it really felt like it was heating up in terms of the drama of it all.
Hmm.
And you were just kind of thrown into the deep end of it, and you go on this Key West trip. And obviously, there's simmering tension between sort of like the Quad and King side and the Dr. G and Sweet Tea side. And it kind of all comes to a head first at this poolside event. And, you were there, but you also watched it play back on TV. And I'm curious if those two experiences, if they give you different perspectives on what happened, or if you kind of if your point of view on it remained the same after watching it back.
It's well, two responses. So the first one is if you watch it and you watch my facial expressions, I have now realized that I have to work on my poker face because whatever you see me do with my facial expressions, that's exactly how I was feeling. And so I was like, oh my gosh, you would think that a psychiatrist would have a better poker face. And I'm just like,
I love
oh
a
my
reaction
God.
shot though. I love a
Yeah.
reaction shot.
And so watching that, I was like, oh my gosh. But being there, I felt it was awkward. It was unexpected. I'm a new one, a newbie. And so I did not know the extent of the formal or
Right.
whatever you want to call it between um Quad and Dr. G. And to just to see it unfold, it was just awkward and but also insightful. um and then of course it spilled over to my husband and I called Disaster Island.
Hmm.
And so it was just a lot going on all at once. I think it was like maybe four fights or four arguments going on. And it was just I just found myself running up and down the stand,
Doing
and it was not
laps.
for, yeah, it wasn't for exercise. It was a lot.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that moment in particular was obviously very chaotic, and
Hmm.
things threatened to get physical. I don't think they ever fully got physical, thank God.
Hmm.
But again, watching that moment in particular back, did you find yourself on either side of the equation, or what was, I don't know, what went through your mind watching it?
Just what, like, watching it, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like we know it didn't have to go that far. And we didn't have to, there, we could have just communicated. Of course, there was a lot of uh, underlying animosity that I think just kind of just came up. But I wasn't on, like, I wasn't on either side. It
Okay.
was just like I just wanted, hey, I'm on the side of, like, let's just make sure this collective is okay. And in order for the collective to be okay, we may have to, separate for a moment so we can all just regulate, because this is a lot. This is not as healthy as what it needs to be, and we probably need to go to sleep. We probably need to go to bed and wake
Take the
up
boat
and just try
back.
it again
Right.
tomorrow.
Right. 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 Because it's interesting kind of paying attention to the conversation around these moments because, Quad is an OG of the show, and obviously
Hmm.
Dr. Greg was on at the time, the first several seasons with her. He goes
Hmm.
away when they split up, and then he comes back. But Quad's always been on the show, and I feel like there's this interesting kind of implication from some people. I don't know exactly who, but
Hmm.
like that she should almost like be more respectful of his feelings. Just, but in my opinion, it's sort of like this
Hmm.
is a show that she's always been on. You know what I mean? And so
Hmm.
I feel like the show is sort of wrapped up into this because he came back to her territory in a way.
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily have an opinion from that perspective, but I will say these are this despite the ups and downs that Quad has had with the ladies, these are her friends.
Yeah,
These are her friends, and these are her friends for years. And so I can see how she's, hey, I want to be with my friends. And perhaps you being here, creates a barrier for me to kind of really be here with my friends. And so I can see that perspective for sure. But I also can see, Dr. G's perspective. He also has friends. I think he golfs with some of the guys quite often. And then also, like me, like, T's my friend. So it's a lot of dynamic, but we can work through this. This is fine. This is
you
we
so
can work through
you
it.
think we can work through it?
I think I don't know how. No, I don't know how.
Okay,
Okay, but I think that we can find a way to kind of just make things better. We can find a way to make things better, and also just take everybody's emotions and everybody's perspective in account for sure.
got it. Got it. Well,
Hmm.
I also feel like at that last event on the trip where with the lemon bowl, and it was sort of you guys were, it was very calm, and you guys were really kind of assessing where the group was, and you and Steve got a lot of credit for sort of how quickly you have understood some of the dynamic and sort of read what's going on here.
Hmm.
Do you feel like that moment in particular was sort of like a really kind of solidification of your connection to some of this group? Just sort of, it felt like there was almost a breakthrough in some ways.
And it was I that the yellow
Yeah,
dinner. Yes, so that was, I think, a moment where everyone was able to, number one, we needed to listen, and so that's why I was like, okay, we gotta figure out. I had to go to
yeah.
work again. Okay, I had to go. I had to clock in. I had to go to
Hmm.
work. And so that we are not listening to each other, so we have to make sure that we are listening. So let's just have this particular exercise. And so that's where the lemon bowls came into play. And so now, as we are able to listen to each other, we're able to really sit back and say, you know what? Now I see your perspective. Now I see what I did wrong. And now I can take accountability, because at first I was just listening to respond to you. I wasn't really listening to kind of hear you and receive what you're trying to say. And so I felt that that was a breakthrough moment. My wish was that Dr. G and T and Phaedra were there to really, voice kind of how they feel, because I believe that was a moment where the ladies and the men were able to hear each other. And so,
Hmm.
and I was glad that everybody was receptive to it, and I was glad people were honest and vulnerable.
Yeah, I totally agree. I thought it was
Hmm.
a really nice moment, especially considering everything that had gone down on the trip. To end on that note was
Hmm.
really positive and great. And honestly, watching the show over the years, I always will have faith in this group to to get back to that
Right.
kind of place. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm. Yeah, me
So
too. I
yeah,
think that they have the capacity to do it. We have the capacity to do it.
yeah, absolutely. So you're obviously entering this group. You mentioned Phaedra as she's sort of making her way out of the group, and
Yeah.
it's, she left this trip early, and she feels as though sort of heavenly blindsided her by bringing Apollo and him bringing his wife with him, and obviously she also brought Czech, who has a connection with them. It's like very complicated, layered connections there.
Hmm.
But from your sort of newbie perspective in this group, did you feel like Phaedra had any right to be upset over that situation, or do you believe heavenly that she sort of knew what was coming? Because I feel like it's almost like a she said situation in terms of what they knew.
Well, I'm gonna ask you a question, Gib. Would you
Okay.
want your ex and your new boo on the same disaster island?
Listen. I absolutely would not, and I think that Phaedra had every right to be upset. Do I wish that she had left the trip? No.
And I agree with you. I agree with you, and I agree if like I said earlier, if she was, my wish was that everybody was at the yellow dinner to make sure that their their voice was heard.
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Are we gonna or do you see Phaedra at all after the trip?
Do I? You gonna have to watch.
Okay. Well, because we know
You're gonna have to watch.
we know she didn't go to the reunion.
I have seen Phaedra after the trip.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
But did you know that she wasn't gonna go to the reunion?
No, I don't know. I don't know. No, I'm a newbie.
Okay.
I go.
Listen, I don't know.
I'm a newbie. I just go.
Got it. Got it. So you mentioned earlier that you feel like there is some way to have all these people move forward together despite
Hmm.
everything. I guess
Hmm.
I'll
Hmm.
say.
Hmm.
What is the key to that, do you think? Because there obviously is unresolved hurt on both sides. I think, again, it's sort of like this. I feel like Quad's main issue is more with Dr. G versus with T, maybe. Like that to me is sort of my read on it. But obviously, that it goes both ways. What's the key to unlocking that path forward?
Just talking, and not and trying your best to not allow those particular emotions to get in the way of effective communication.
Okay,
I think Quad has said like Quad and T. I don't think they don't have any like beef.
I
Like they don't
agree.
they don't.
They
And I think
coexisted
that
before Dr. G was coming around a lot.
absolutely. And so I think if they can just talk and just say, yeah, we don't have we are okay. And I think if and I think I actually said that, I want to say. But I think that if that happens in terms of we're just communicating and understanding, hey, we're good, we're good. I'm working through my own things. I'm supportive of you. I think that you will see that spill over into the rest of the group.
Hmm. So let's end on the reunion. You guys already filmed it.
Mm-hmm.
How was that experience for you? Because that's a whole other beast to tackle as somebody on
Right.
these shows.
Yes. And so of course when you're going into the reunion, you feel kind of, you're a little anxious, like, okay, what's gonna pop
Yeah,
off now? But you just have, of course, you just have to watch it. It's still some things that we have to talk about. And you have to understand that not only it is the ladies, but the men have their own issues now. And so that's a thing. So it's just a lot to unpack. We still have opportunities to reconcile. I think there are some, we get some things out. We get some things out where, you could have delivered that a little bit better. You didn't have to do that. But I also think that of course, with the whole group, we were able to kind of, listen to each other a bit more. But there's still some, you got to watch it. There's still some stuff.
so there's some so we got some resolution I'm sensing on
Yes,
some
but there's still
things.
some unresolved.
Okay. In a way that in a way that gives you hope, or in a way that's sort of like
I'm a psychiatrist, so I'm always going to be
You're always
optimistic.
okay.
Yes, yes. Um, maybe more optimistic than most, but there's still there's hope.
Okay.
There's hope.
Last question about the reunion, Mimi. Use
Hmm.
3 words to describe it.
Well, first of all, everyone's absolutely gorgeous.
Always.
Okay,
Always.
gorgeous. Um, Loud. And moments of, I guess, brief moments of clarity.
Brief. Emphasis on brief, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. That's
Uh-huh.
hilarious. Well, Dr. Mimi, that's all the time we have, but I really appreciate you taking some time to
Likewise.
chat about this. I've been enjoying seeing you on the show. I hope this
Thank
journey
you.
continues for you. And I'm looking forward to seeing those brief moments of clarity
Brief moments of clarity. Okay. You have
on the
to
reunion.
appreciate your wins. Appreciate your
Listen,
wins,
you
Gibbs.
take them where you can
Okay.
get them. You take them where you can
Yes.
get them, right? Right. And hopefully we get to do this again soon. Thanks so much.
Okay. Likewise. Bye.
I want to gab.